Michael from Fire and Brilliance, and today we have an awesome episode. We have somebody that came into our office today.
Woo.
She's Catherine from Gem Hunt.
I
and
am.
If you already don't know who she is, check her out. Instagram @Gem Hunt. Okay,
Yeah.
so she's awesome. I worked with her about what?
Like a little bit over a year ago, probably.
Yeah, about a year ago, and at that time I think you had like maybe 40,000 followers.
I don't even know if it was that, like 30 or something crazy.
Now you're like almost at 200
I know,
or something.
it's crazy.
That's awesome.
I was hoping to hit 200 by the end of the year, but I don't think it's going to happen. But maybe this will help me. We'll see.
Hey,
Who knows?
we're spreading the word.
You're spreading the word, yeah, so thank you.
So thanks for coming in. I
Yeah.
mean, this is super cool. I'm so excited. Actually, I know I pinged you and you're super busy now, so I'm so thankful that you actually came in, especially during the holiday season, right?
It's
so
good
everyone's
to
super
do new
busy.
things and get out of your comfort zone. So I appreciate like the offer. It's like something different, something cool, and I appreciate what you guys are doing here. Like.
Cool. So what we do here is the F&B Geminar, and what we try to do is bring more awareness and educate our audience on other options, or not other options, but just options in general within the jewelry business before they make a big commitment and a big investment on something that they will potentially wear the rest of their life, right? So our purpose is to make sure as a team here is to give them the information they need.
Yeah, and that's what I'm all about with Gem Hunt too.
Cool.
It's just like, know what you're buying, be educated about what you're buying, and get the resources and info you need. So I love it.
Awesome.
So you guys are in an amazing new office, and it seems like things have gone really well since I last seen you. So what's new with Fire and Brilliance, Michael?
I mean, what's not new? I mean, we're super excited about so many things, right? So the last time we worked, we were at our other office. We've expanded since then, so we moved into this bigger office. And the exciting thing, more so than that, is the fact that we just launched our new line of Moissanite.
That must have been an amazing project. How long did that take to launch your own Moissanite?
We've been working on it for a year.
Over a year.
But I mean, realistically speaking, we've been doing this for almost a decade. So I've been networking for almost a decade, and then we've planned this for almost a year.
That's
awesome. So we've been working on it. We've networked with a whole bunch of diamond cutters, Moissanite cutters, distributors, wholesalers, vendors, and that's the reason why we were ready to do this.
And I was stalking your Instagram the other day. You're doing your own custom cuts.
Yeah.
And I love step cuts, so I saw you had like a octagonal Asher or something that looks super dope.
Yeah, it's super cool. It's
Yeah.
so nice, only because it's more octagonal, right? So it's really nice, actually, the step cut, and there's a lot of facets, the straight facets, the symmetry behind it. It's really nice. It's getting really popular, actually.
Yeah, really popular.
Yeah.
I want one.
And hey, we know each other, so yeah. So it's super nice. It's very nice.
That's cool. So how did you come to the realization that you needed your own Moissanite line when there's so many alternatives now sort of in the market this year?
Moissanite to me, it's an option, right? It's an option that...
It's an option people need to know about, too, because it's still fairly new to the market.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and I mean, we were shopping for engagement rings. I didn't know about Moissanite. I mean, and that was probably 3 or 4 years ago.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly. And most people, when they get engaged or about to get married, they're usually between the ages of 25 to 35, right? So that's usually the age where if they went to college, they just graduated.
Yep.
That's usually the age where they're very early on in their careers.
For sure.
And that's usually the age where they're trying to make it, so they have student loans.
Yep.
They have credit card debt.
Yep.
They have car payments, rent, and all of that. And then on top of that, once they fall in love and they're ready to get engaged, then you have the venue.
Yeah.
You have if you've been there, you know what I'm talking about. You have the venue, you have the outfits, you have the camera people, you have the photos, you have the flowers, you have the
booze. Don't forget the booze.
Right, and then the jewelry, right? So to me, the reason why I launched our brand is we've been around for about a decade now, and I know this business pretty well, working with all the various brands. And I just felt as if I had the need and the desire that, hey, now it's time to really showcase what Moissanite is about and what we can offer to the market with all the options, so that when people are making a decision, depending on where they are in their lives, that they're making the right decision for them.
For
right?
sure. And speaking from a woman's perspective, I feel like men get paralyzed. They think they need to save up to buy this big rock or whatever, and then you end up with this guy for 7 years and he still hasn't proposed. And I'm like, forget that. If you can afford the Moissanite or whatever it is, like I'm telling you, your girl will be so much happier than like waiting. Like put a ring on it.
I hear that story every day.
Every day.
I hear that story every day.
Yeah.
And you know, from a guy's perspective, there's a lot of pressure.
It's a lot of pressure. They put this, and there's all this stuff about the 3-month salary, or now it's 4-month salary, or whatever it is, and it's like, you know, girls see these pictures of these huge rings and their girlfriends or whatever, and I think men get really freaked out about proposing. And it takes them so long to do that because of all that sort of cultural stuff. But I think some of these new options, if you're educated about them, I swear to you, men, like, just propose sooner. If you know she's the one, like, don't worry about spending all that money.
You hit the nail on the head. I can't disagree with you, and only because of the fact that it's so true. There's so much, as a man, there's so much pressure.
I was 5 years dating before I got engaged.
There's just so much pressure.
Yeah, so much pressure.
Know, and it's to no fault of their own.
Yeah,
it's a culture that we grew up in. It's and they just, you know, they're in love, and they want to be able to provide what they feel is right for their wife, their future significant other, and it's just one of those things where it's a lot of pressure, and so I mean, it's great that you brought that up because it's so true.
So true, and I also feel like there's all this pressure. Sorry, I'm a woman, so I'm like. There's all this pressure. You have to find the ring, and it has to be this ring. Now I'm like, I want 4 engagement rings, right? So like, and I'm in the jewelry business now, and I'm like, oh, I want to redesign my ring, but I feel like it's almost like so much pressure just to redesign like this one ring, right? Now I'm like, well, maybe there's like cheaper alternatives. Maybe I'll get like an octagon mossy that I'll wear like some days or whatever. I just think we as a society like put so much pressure on like that one thing being perfect, and you gotta just like do you.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. You're absolutely right, and you know, and you know, with the purchase of diamond alternatives, and a diamond alternative, it's obviously not just moissanite, right? A diamond alternative could be a natural colored stone. A diamond alternative could be a lab diamond. A diamond alternative could be, you know, a rough that has not been cut, right? So a diamond alternative is anything other than a polished diamond, right? So. You know, but for moissanite specifically, a lot of people, they actually purchase it. They purchase it for a combination of reasons, right? So one of the main reasons would be, okay, because of the fact that it's environmentally friendly. You know, there's a lot of people out there that don't believe that people should still mine for natural gemstones. There's another reason would be the fact that, you know, some people believe in the fact that it's socially responsible. You know, the whole notion of blood diamonds and the diamond trade. I think you know, I think it's definitely improved a whole bunch over the years, but there's still a lot of that going around. So there's a lot of concern. But for me, I think the one that resonates with me the most is the fact that, you know, I think, you know, other than it being socially responsible and environmentally friendly, I think it's that personal responsibility to make sure that if you're in a situation that you want to ensure that your future, it's to put you in a better place in the future, then, you know, maybe you have to make a financial decision.
Yeah, if you have $5 grand, and you know, what are you going to do with it, and what's the best decision for you and your family?
Absolutely, absolutely. Especially with the honeymoon, and you know, and the experience of it, right? So sometimes you got to weigh out, would you rather have a diamond ring, or a you know, another ring, and you know, great honeymoon, right? So, so it's one of those things, right? You have to weigh out the pros and cons.
Yeah, for sure. And there can always be more rings later.
Absolutely. There's always
more opportunities later.
Right. I mean, life is just so long.
Life is so long. You don't have to get locked into this one ring. That's my point of view.
Right. That's so awesome. Like, I'm so glad that you have your perspective on it.
I like what you have when you have like a nice wedding band. I tell everyone, I have a rose gold wedding band. I'm not wearing it today, but have a wedding band that's, just a plain band from your wedding that, maybe you get it engraved and it's special to you.
Right.
And that's your ring. That's your ring you don't take off. That's the ring you wear to the gym. That's the ring you take when you're vacationing. That's your ring. You know what I mean?
Right.
And then,
Oh yeah, this is the one. It
that's
gets scuffed
the one,
up. I go
right?
to the gym and this one gets scuffed up. It hasn't been polished.
Yeah, but that's great, right? I think that's great. Because the other rings, whatever they are, feel free to like do you with them. But, maybe just get a simple band and that really can hold the meaning for you.
Right, absolutely. There's just so many ways to do it. Especially in today's world, you could custom almost anything, see it in a computer before it's even made.
Yep.
So it's almost limitless. You could custom a piece of jewelry, you could custom a stone, you could custom anything. You could basically give a jeweler 10 pictures and put it together, and they'll be able to do it.
And you guys are really good at that, right? You guys love doing custom.
We do that all the time.
All the time.
We definitely do that all the time.
So, Michael, you just launched this new Moissanite line. You have this great e-commerce business. How are you spreading the word about your new product?
I try to spread the word in the way people do it in today's world. So a lot of social media, obviously YouTube, right?
Go YouTube.
Yeah, YouTube's great. Obviously IG. That's how we met. Snapchat, Pinterest, Twitter. We're on there too. Not so much. We're on there. So that's how I try to spread the word in terms of our brand, right? It's more or less, and at the same time, we've been around the block, so I think the credibility, hopefully, it's already there, so then it helps a lot, right? But more so, spreading the word just in Moissanite in general has been so much easier now than where it was about 10 years ago.
Or even last year.
Yeah, it's way more accepting now. But there's for every new business, I guess, or every new idea, there's always going to be some resistance. And I'll give you an example. So obviously, people in my circle, people in my own friends and family know that I'm in the business, right? Of the jewelry business. So
obviously, if I was in your friends and family.
I hope so. But people that's a little outside of that circle that still kind of knows me, they also know. And without saying any names, I still hear whispers and stuff like that. They're like, oh yeah, they'll say stuff like, oh, I would never wear something fake, right? Or I would never wear something that's not a natural diamond, right? So there's resistance there, and so they have strong opinions about that, and I absolutely respect their opinion. But I just, I think the purpose of what we're doing here and the purpose of this channel is to truly educate people so that they can, understand a different perspective, right?
Sure.
A different perspective.
And learn to have an open mind, because I think too, I'm on Instagram and I see sometimes a girl will be talking about a Moissanite ring or a lab diamond ring or whatever it is, and sometimes there's haters who write mean things.
It happens all the time.
I'm sure it happens with you guys too, and it's live your own life, and who really cares? Number one, if you're trolling people on Instagram because they bought a Moissanite ring, I don't really know what to say about you.
Right.
But
there's so many trollers.
So many trolls about it. So many trolls, and people get so mad and indignant about it. Oh my God!
I absolutely get amused by it. Right.
But it also shocks me too, because people are so concerned about I hear even about blood diamonds and about the environment, right? These are such hot button topics for the jewelry industry to address, and then here you have alternatives that address them. And people are
good point.
Hating on it.
Good point. I mean, that's a point that I haven't thought about.
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, that's absolutely correct. I mean, that's the whole subject altogether in terms of.
That's another show.
Yeah.
I don't know if I'm signing up for that one.
Well, I mean, you're welcome to join anytime. But yeah, so I mean, to hear it in my own circles, I know that even if it's in my own little circle and I'm hearing it, then the resistance is still there.
Right.
Right.
For sure.
So there's still a long way to go, I think. But I think it's definitely improved a whole bunch. I think our society today is definitely way more accepting about it. With all the lab and man-made types of things. And my analogy on is this: hey, we used to, or people, or we, I guess, people, used to ride horses before.
I actually ride horses.
Well, I mean, to travel a long distance, right?
I got you.
Before the car was invented. So to say that it's unnatural to ride a car, drive a car, or it's just one of those things where I guess it takes some time for people to fully catch up and understand and be educated about it.
In the meantime, they can just be jealous of their friends with nice ring from Fire and Brilliance.
Yeah, so I think so it's definitely a hot topic at the moment, and I'm so glad I could share that point of view with you. It's great, but with Moissanite in general, the cool thing about Moissanite is this, right? Moissanite is not a diamond, and I say this all the time. It's not a diamond. It's a lab-created gemstone that has very similar optical properties of a diamond. It's very durable.
I think that's important too, because I think there are some people out there who. In their marketing, they're not as transparent about that. And I do find that frustrating, especially from a consumer point of view. So, it's like know what you're buying. And I'm sure I'll like lead the witness probably where you're going. But, Moissanite, it's not a diamond. It looks like a diamond. There's some things about it that are better than a diamond. There's some things about it that aren't as good as a diamond. Right? So you just need to evaluate if that's right for you.
Absolutely. But the beauty of it is that you don't really sacrifice that, so there's a pros and cons, right?
Pros and cons.
It's slightly less durable than a diamond.
Slightly
However,
less, but better than a sapphire.
Right, better than a sapphire.
Or an emerald, or those peach sapphires everyone's slinging.
The subject, so there you go. So there you go. So I mean,
it's harder than those other alternatives.
Absolutely. So for those people that feel as if they're sacrificing so much, if they were to choose a Moissanite, that's absolutely not true. It's just you have to look into it and you have to do some research on it, and that's the point of the conversation here, is to bring more awareness.
What I found interesting about Moissanite is a lot lighter.
Yeah.
So much lighter.
It is.
And for someone like me, I'm really sensitive. I don't like things heavy on my, I don't like a lot of heavy stuff on my hands. So that's something that I kind of like about Moissanite.
Cool. And then Moissanite, on top of that, 2 years ago, right? So Charles and Kovar, they were the leader in the Moissanite business for a long time, only because they also had a patent on it.
They had it locked up.
Locked up for a very long time.
A very long time.
And the patent expired about 2 years ago. And if you've been following Moissanite, when it was first made, it was actually very green.
Yeah.
It had a greenish, yellowish hue. Right. And over time, it got better and better and better. And about 2 years ago now, there are colorless versions. And I think that's when Moissanite just blew up. Right? Because whoa, it's like a colorless stone. It looks truly like a diamond alternative. And therefore, it really just, kind of just been introduced all over the place.
Yeah, I think the product definitely got better, and then I also just think that patent expiring and allowing new players to come into the market.
Exactly. And have their own creative flair.
Yeah, their own creative flair, their own marketing. I mean, CNC's like they're a brand, right? They're also wholesale to people, but they're a brand and they don't appeal to everybody, right? So, different brands being able to put their spin on it and reach new audiences, I think, has been really important for it. Yeah.
Right. Absolutely. And so they have a great product. We have a great product. A lot of other players have a great product, and I think just the open field to be able to have more, I guess, players in the business is able to provide more options. Even more options within the options for those that need the options, right? So I think that really helps out a whole lot. So I do want to, spend some time to kind of talk about what you do, your perspective on it, maybe some of your audience perspective on it. I know you had mentioned earlier about how one of your blogs, one of the most popular blogs that you wrote, is about lab-created diamonds, right? So.
Yeah, lab diamonds are one of the biggest posts, our most read posts on my blog is about lab diamonds. So I'm really trying to put out more content about lab diamonds, about Moissanite, I just wrote the other day about simulant diamond simulants, because I think a lot of people in the industry, or even bloggers who maybe have gone to GIA school or maybe have a more traditional background, they don't want to talk about it because honestly, there's hate from people about it, and they feel like people are going to judge them. But Google. Everyone's Googling this stuff because it's out there, people are selling it, they're interested in it, and there's just not a lot of people who I think have like the openness, who want to have an honest conversation about it, and that's something that's important to me.
And I you know, and I think you know, you definitely hit on the subject that that hits home to me. You know, because I did go to GIA.
Yeah, you went to
and
GIA.
And I know a lot of people that's been in the business for a long time, from one generation to the next. So in the jewelry business, it's usually passed down from one generation to the next. So this subject is, it's almost frowned upon, you know, in the business. But you know, with that said, you know, there's also a lot of people like me that are super excited
Pioneers
about
in it,
it.
yeah.
So it's great to hear that people love that blog, and the subject that, you know, you're actually spreading the word yourself. So it's great to hear that, you know, there's an advocate right next to me in terms of the subject matter.
I just want people to know what the options are. I want people educated on what the pros and cons of everything is, and you make your own decision. I'm not. I find there's a lot of propaganda in the jewelry, in the diamond industry, and I don't want to be like that at all.
And I think that's the reason why maybe, you know, that the reason why your brand has exploded so much is because you really provide so many options with an unbiased opinion.
Yeah,
right?
For sure.
Right.
And I think, you know, another thing I've really tried to do with Gem Hunt is I am all for like women being empowered to buy their own jewelry, tell their boyfriends what
That's
they
a great
want.
subject.
For
That's
their
a great
ring.
subject, yeah.
Like, you know, take control of the situation, ladies. Don't just like, you know, sit back and say he has to save 4 months' salary and surprise me magically with the perfect ring, right? So my voice, I always see Gem Hunt supposed to be like your best friend. You would take diamond shopping with you. So my voice, I try to be very friendly and down to earth, which hopefully I come across.
I mean,
but I think that's really helped. Yeah.
I think authenticity goes very far.
Yeah.
You know, and I think when things are unscripted, when you're speaking from the heart, I think people can relate because, you know, there's almost 7 billion people in the world now. So there's always going to be people that will relate to the same ideology, right? So yeah, absolutely. I've been following you for a long time, and I love what you've been doing. I love your posts. Your pictures are always great and beautiful.
Thank you.
You also have your own line now, right?
Yeah. We've been doing some fun things. It's called Gem Breakfast, and I'm, you know, part of the reason, like to back it up, I got engaged, and I was like, oh my God, what is this diamond? What's this Azure cut? I wasn't into diamonds. I wasn't into jewelry.
I remember this story.
And I basically got obsessed. I figured out that the people posted pictures of diamonds on Instagram, which I didn't know was like a thing. And I was like, this is the most amazing thing in the world. And I was like literally on Instagram for like 3 hours a night, like an addict. And I found all these people doing these cool things. I think when you're just like a regular consumer and you think about diamonds, you're like, oh, there's Tiffany & Co. or Blue Nile now or Brilliant Earth or whatever. You kind of think those are just the options. And you think, you know, I can just get a emerald cut solitaire or a round cut solitaire or whatever. And when I discovered Instagram and basically the internet, I was like, there's so many people doing so many cool things. And I was obsessed. And so that's why I started Gem Hunt, was because I was like, I'm spending hours a day on Instagram. I need to do something with this. And I also felt like a lot of the bloggers' voices out there just didn't resonate with me. I wanted something that felt a little bit more just like friendly, like your girlfriend, like me. I'm like genuinely excited about it, right? So yeah, it's been really an evolution. It's been like 2 years now, and started the store to really kind of showcase some of like my favorite niche and independent designers that have kind of become my Instagram friends.
That's so cool. I'm so excited for you because when I saw you launch that, I was like, wow, you know, she really stepped up her game.
Thank you.
And you know, to just know that someone that's just started 2 years ago to be able to build what you've built in such a short time period, it really requires a specific personality to do that. It really does, because
or an addict. You can call me an addict.
Or being, but that's being obsessed, being in love with what you do, right? To truly feel as if it's a hobby and not a job. To feel as if that's something that you wake up to do, and you're not bored of it, right? So
people are always like, "How do you get so many followers?" I'm like, I spend hours a day on Instagram. Like, there's no secret. Like, I am there all day long. You can reach me there all day long.
The secret to everything in life is hard work.
Hard work.
And hopefully with some passion, right? So.
I remember when we like worked together like a year ago. I was like talking to Sid, I think your social media manager, and she'd always be like, "You're on Instagram?" Like, yes, I'm on Instagram. Like,
that's what I do.
That's what I do. I'm here right now.
That's so awesome. That's so awesome. And so I'm just so happy for you. And if there's anything else that you want to share to our audience, just go ahead and feel free to do that.
No, I mean, I think this was a great conversation. Thanks for having me. I love it. And like I said, just like keep an open mind. And I think the biggest thing is to ask questions about what you're buying.
Yeah.
Everything has pluses and minuses.
Of course.
Everything.
Everything.
So figure out what's right for you.
Absolutely.
And that you love.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And buy more rings.
Like 4 more.
4 more.
At
one for
least.
each finger. Yeah. There's people I know on IG. There's like one woman. I think she's like I have 52 engagement rings. I'm like, you're my life goal.
I love that. I love that. I love how we ended it like that. So, again, guys, this is the F&B Geminar. This is Catherine from Gem Hunt. If you're not following her already, and I'm sure a lot of you guys are, it's at Gem Hunt on Instagram. Okay, she's also on Pinterest.
Gem Hunt SF on Pinterest. I'm lame. My handles don't match across the social media, but that's true.
It's all right. So you could find her Gem Hunt SF on Pinterest. All right. So again, guys, if you guys like what you see here, if we are bringing value to your decision-making process, if you guys are shopping for an engagement ring or any kind of jewelry and you want to know what your options are, and if this channel has definitely brought value to you, definitely subscribe to the channel if you haven't already.
Subscribe.
I know my goal this year was to reach 1,000 subscribers. We've definitely passed that. My next goal is to reach 10,000 by this time next year.
100,000.
Yeah, see, that's what I need
bigger goals.
I need to have bigger goals. I definitely need bigger goals. I need you around me more often. That's what I need.
100,000.
100,000. I'm gonna claim it. 100,000 subscribers. This time next year, the 2 guys behind me are giggling, smiling, and super excited. Thanks again, guys. Leave a comment below if you want to message us on something that you want us to respond to. Hit the like button again. Thank you so much for an awesome year. Christmas is around the corner. Merry Christmas to you and your family.
Happy holidays.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.